citizens wishing to be heard. And we will start with Kat Myers. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Kat Myers, and I live in 1307 Lowndes Street, Valdosta. This is my very first time speaking at a county meeting, and I'm here to urge the Commission to update the animal welfare ordinance to define responsible animal stewardship and to ensure some resources are dedicated to reducing unwanted pet populations rather than simply housing them. A $500 million shelter investment is a significant one, but unless we also reduce the number of animals entering the shelter, we're spending money on the consequences of pet overpopulation rather than on its causes. There are really only two ways to address the pet overpopulation problem. Either more people have to adopt animals, or fewer unwanted animals have to be born. If the county is committed to reducing euthanasia, then preventing unwanted litters through education and accessible spay and neuter programs must be part of the strategy. Other Georgia counties are successfully doing this, and I first became aware of these discussions because I'm a preservation breeder of Grand Champion long-haired miniature dogs. My breeding program is small, focused on preserving the breed through health testing, sound temperament, and careful placement. Responsible breeders work really hard to ensure that none of the dogs we produce ever end up in a shelter. We have a shared interest in reducing this irresponsible backyard breeding, so that's something that we share as a goal. While I would prefer to pour all of my resources into my dachshunds, unfortunately, we were conscripted into sharing our time and resources with stray cats in our neighborhood. Like my former young neighbor, many people are unintentionally running backyard breeding programs for cats when they feed them and fail to spay or neuter them. They don't realize this is what they're doing oftentimes because they lack that education. When I saw that she was struggling to feed them, and they were spraying on my front door and stressing out my house cats, I helped locate vouchers for the spay and neuter surgery, and then I realized she couldn't transport them to Thomasville, which was the only participating vet for that program. But since that time that I helped her with those initial cats, Helene dropped a tree on her house and forced her to move, and that responsibility of those cats have now become mine. We've now trapped and neutered 10 cats, all of whom we feed twice daily, and we provide them heated shelters in the winter. We do about 1,000 pounds of dry cat food and 2,200 cans of cat food yearly, thousands of dollars that we never expected to spend. Very few people realize how difficult the work is. Borrowing traps, catching feral cats, transporting them, returning them requires time, coordination, and persistence. If the county expects residents to be the first line of defense in this, then it should also make it easier for residents to succeed. Community cats belong to no one, but frankly, they belong to everyone. And for those folks who step up to prevent the suffering and to prevent the shelter from overflowing, the county should allocate some resources or at least help folks navigate the uncoordinated and threadbare existing resources. So the county must make spay and neuter services more accessible, expand public education about responsible pet ownership, and create, frankly, a free trap lending program through the library system, perhaps, or another public resource which would remove one of the biggest barriers for residents who are willing to help. Public education about responsible pet ownership and low-cost spay and neuter programs should be visible on county websites, in public buildings, and throughout the community in a committed and visible way. So the new shelter is a very important step, but it should be a safety net and not the whole strategy. Pairing that investment with policies that prevent overpopulation is